Now it's time to make the dreaded confidence interval. Dun dun dun. So I have the formula written right here in the notes, and then I changed it, and I wanted you to see how I changed it just a little bit. I changed it, instead of numbers 1 and 2, I made it a lot and a little, just to try to keep track of what I was doing here. And now we know that the proportion for a lot was 24.87% right there, 0.2488. And the proportion for a little, so 0.2488. And the proportion for a little was 0.00568. And I'm going to use those numbers all over the place. Matter of fact, I'm just going to copy and paste this bit in here. I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. Okay, so everywhere that there was the p hat for a lot, I'm going to put in 0.02488. There we go. And then n for a lot was 619. N for a little was, whoops, there we go, 88. P hat for a little was 0.0568. And again, what a pain. Now what about z alpha over 2? Well, we actually already found it. It's the 1.960. Right here we found it with the norm inverse. And again, mine does the dot inverse, but it's okay if you use just norm inverse with no dot. It'll work the same. You just have to cut it in half, alpha over 2, so 0.05 divided by 2. So if you were doing a one-tailed test before, then you have to make sure you do this again and do the alpha over 2 for a two-tailed test. Okay, so there's that confidence interval. Now we got to find all this jazz, which is quite a bit, unfortunately. All right, so we already found the difference there. It's 0.19197. That's the p a lot minus the p a little. So we know that part. Then we just have to find this big, huge hunk and square root thing. So let me go over here and find it. So big square root. It was equal to SQRT, and then it was, okay, the p times a lot times parentheses 1 minus that p hat for a lot, close parentheses, divided by the n for a lot, which was up here, 619, plus, let me go back and look at it. Yep, there we go. So we've done this part right now. Plus, now we got to do it again for the other one. The 0.056 times parentheses 1 minus 0.056, close parentheses, divided by 88. Close my big parentheses, press enter, and squeeze your hands. Yay, there we go. All right, so that's the big square root. Gotta move my tape recording thing out of here. All right, so then we want the, and while I'm on the subject, did I ever find the differences? Oh, yes, I did. It's right there. So I'm using this right here, and this right here, and this right here to make this confidence interval. So I'm going to have a lower bound, which would be equal to that difference, p lot minus a p little, minus, plus, excuse me. It's 1.9. Since it's negative, I can just do the plus one. And then times that guy right there. And then the upper bound, would be equal to that difference, 1.1919, minus this time, because it's a negative, times that big square root. Enter. Yep, that's right. And again, the reason I'm doing the negative kind of opposite of what you'd think is just because this critical value is negative. If you make it positive, then you'd do the minus and the plus just like you'd think. All right, so there are the two numbers. Now, I'd love to double check myself because I think StatCrunch would make my life a whole lot easier. So let me go to StatCrunch, proportions, to sample, summary. And I had 5 aggressive acts out of 88. I had 158. Oh, I better double check that. Oh, 154. See, there you go. 154 out of 619. Double checking my numbers. Yep. Next, I'm going to make a confidence interval. It's going to be 95%. Calculate. There we go. Oh, I had them reversed. That's okay. Notice they're the same numbers. They're just negatives of each other. If I had gone in and done it the other way, then they would have been positives. It's okay. It's fine. It doesn't really matter which one was positive, which one was negative.